In the early 1900s, immigrants poured into the central Toronto neighborhood known as the Ward. They came to escape from Eastern Europe's pogroms, Italy's economic difficulties, and the hardships they faced in Poland, Germany, Russia, and China. The newcomers were immediately met with slum houses, sweatshop factories, and unsanitary living conditions. The Ward District was the infamous slum district of its day. Bounded by College, Queen, Yonge, and University, it is recognizable today for such landmarks as the Eaton Centre, City Hall, and Bay Street. Before the neighborhood was developed, families crowded into the same room, working men labored for 60 hours per week, and 1 in 5 children died before they reached the age of 1.
Obviously, changes were badly needed. The key leader behind the establishment of social services in early Toronto was John Joseph Kelso, an immigrant from Ireland who had experienced poverty himself growing up in Toronto. Later, as a crime reporter, then newspaper editor for The Globe, he had written in the 1880s about the hardships faced by poor children, the sick, the aged, and the newcomer to Toronto. Kelso was appointed superintendent for dependent and neglected children and invited by Premier Sir Oliver Mowat to administer the Children's Protective Act, passed in the Ontario Legislature in 1893. Kelso had studied earlier examples of settlement work in London, England, and in Chicago, and was convinced of the value of a neighborhood settlement house for those living in the downtown Toronto slums. Kelso wrote,
I was greatly impressed with the value of the neighborhood settlement house as a preventive and corrective social agency, and as an inspirational center for the residents of the district. From then on, I was determined to bring about settlement work in Toronto, but it was not easy to demonstrate the need.
Indeed. William Lyon Mackenzie King, while Deputy Minister of Labour, favored religious zeal over ethical passion and felt it improper and premature to promote the settlement movement in Toronto or anywhere else in Canada. Settlements set up on a religious foundation were still favored. Reverend E.B. Horn, in his report to the Special Committee of Knox College, articulated this.
The social settlement seeks to harmonize and civilize. This is good, but it is not enough for our purposes. We must seek also definitely to Christianize. We are going into this work not merely inspired by a thin, sentimental humanism, but also a positive, definite, aggressive, evangelistic propaganda.
Influenced by the politics of the day, Kelso put off this dream until he was approached by Arthur Burnett and George Bryce early in 1911.